I recently made a video about some of the top quarterback battles to watch for the 2023 season, and today we're going to once again follow up that video with 6 more quarterback battles I want to talk about for this year. We're going to go through who each player is, go through each quarterback, I'm going to talk about who I want to win the job, and why I think that certain person will win the job. I'm pretty excited for part 2, and if you want a part 3, let me know down below. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe if you love college football content, leave a like if you want to support today's video, let me know what player, topic, or quarterback battle I should cover next, and turn on notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now, let's talk about 6 more quarterback battles. Ole Miss also is very strange when it comes to the quarterback position. First, you'll have incumbent starter Jackson Dart. He was a top 10 quarterback coming out of high school, and after spending a year at USC, he decided to transfer to Ole Miss, where he beat Luke Altmaier out for the job. Dart was a mixed bag. Some days he was a genius, and other days he looked very inexperienced. Either way, most presumed he'd be the starter in 2023, except Lane Kiffin had a couple tricks up his sleeve. He was a former 5-star quarterback from the 2022 class who played a little bit for LSU before transferring. I think he'll be 3rd string. The other guy they brought in was Spencer Sanders. It's one of the weirdest quarterback moves I've seen in a long time, as Sanders has seemingly been in college football for an eternity and put up a lot of yards, and had a lot of yards and touchdowns with his time at Oklahoma State. He decided to go to Ole Miss, where I think he'll become the starter. On his last year of eligibility, a guy like him is only going to go to a place where he thinks he can actually start, and while it is puzzling to me, Lane will pick the right guy. I think it'll be Sanders starting at first, with Dart as the backup and Howard as the 3rd stringer. Except at this point, it wouldn't shock me if Dart ends up transferring. Who knows though. As most of you guys know, I am a die-hard Mizzou fan, and this year's quarterback room is going to be a lot of fun to watch. First, you have returning starter Brady Cook. He was an underrated guy coming out of St. Louis, and as a starter in 2022, he was up and down. Right now, he has the most experience of any quarterback in the room, but he will have to hold off 3 really talented guys. The first one is transfer Jake Garcia. Garcia had a crazy high school football journey, which deserves a video in itself, but most recently, he was the backup to Van Dyke at Miami and got a couple opportunities to start for them. He was a top 10 quarterback in high school, and in my eyes, has the most potential in this quarterback room. He decided to leave Miami for Missouri, where he's going to get an opportunity to compete for the starting job. The next guy I want to talk about is Jabari Johnson. Coming out of the Seattle area, Johnson has become one of the top quarterbacks in the class of 2023 and is super athletic, and I think has a skill set that'll fit very well in Kirby Moore's new system. He'll be a true freshman, so more than likely he ends up redshirting, but you never know, he could be a lot better than we think. The guy that everyone is talking about, and who many believe will be the starting quarterback in 2023, is Sam Horn. Horn was a top 10 quarterback in the class of 2022 and hails from the state of Georgia. All year, many were begging Horn to play over Cook, but it looks like he was spending last season getting better and getting acclimated to the system. I do think Horn will be ready to take over the starting job in 2023, and if I really had to pick, I think it'll be him as the 1st stringer, Garcia as the 2nd stringer, and Cook as the 3rd stringer. At this point, I have no idea though, and just like some of these other quarterback rooms, I expect a guy to transfer out before the fall season comes around. What do you think, Mizzou fan? One of the most complicated quarterback rooms for 2023 is going to be the Florida Gators. After losing Anthony Richardson to the 2023 NFL Draft, the Gators are going to have to figure out what the heck they're doing at the quarterback position. First, Jalen Kitney got kicked off the team for doing some despicable things behind the scenes. Then you had Marcus Stokes get in trouble for a social media post, and his scholarship was revoked. For a while, it looked like Jaden Rashada was all ready to go at Florida, but there is right now complications with his NIL deal, and it looks like he'll be going elsewhere too. The Gators lost 4 quarterbacks. The 3 guys they right now have for 2023 are going to be interesting. First, you have Jack Miller. He was a huge recruit for quite a while in the class of 2021, but he later fell in the rankings and went to Ohio State, where he lost the job to CJ Stroud and played backup duty last year. Right now, I think Miller will be the 2nd stringer, but he has the most potential on the team. Behind him, you'll have redshirt freshman Max Brown, but he's apparently playing baseball, so he'll be limited this spring. Brown was a late rising player in the class of 2022, and could be one of those guys like Kyle Trask, who blows up later, but right now I don't know. The more than likely starter is now going to be Graham Mertz. We all know Mertz. He was a super rising recruit coming out of the Kansas City area and went to Wisconsin as the most highly regarded quarterback recruit ever, but ultimately had a disappointing few years outside of his first career start. Mertz has all the potential in the world, but can he regain his confidence and can he put it all together? We'll get to see week 1, as I believe he'll be the starter, and if not him, it'll more than likely be Jack Miller or some sort of other late transfer we don't know about. Either way, I don't feel super amazing about Florida's 2023 quarterback room. What are your thoughts, Gators fans? With Max Duggan now graduating and going off to the NFL, TCU will need a new signal caller for the 2023 season. After a surprising and shocking 2022 campaign, the Horned Frogs have a couple of options at the quarterback spot, but also I'm a little bit concerned for them. Right now, the guy who's going to be favored to start is Chandler Morris. He is the son of the legendary head coach Chad Morris, and after spending some time at Oklahoma, he transferred to TCU. He balled out in his one start in 2021 against Baylor, and then was supposed to start the 2022 season, but would get hurt, and then Duggan took over. Right now, Morris will be the favorite to win the job, but things will get interesting behind the scenes. We saw Sam Jackson transfer away to Cal, and him leaving is not surprising. Behind him, you'll have late rising 2022 recruit Josh Hoover. I obviously think Morris will win the job over a redshirt 3-star freshman, but where the real intrigue comes is in the portal. Sonny Dykes has said multiple times that they're going to get a transfer quarterback, and I assume they can get someone pretty big after last season's success and his system. We're going to have to wait and see who it is, and I know this segment of the video will be somewhat lame, but TCU's quarterback position is going to be hung up in the air for the foreseeable future. With Bryce Young heading off to the NFL and likely becoming a consensus top 5 pick, the Crimson Tide will have to move on and find a new quarterback. Luckily, Nick Saban, as always, will have plenty of good options. First, he'll have 2 freshmen who I don't think will be in the running for the job, but could surprise some people. The first one is Eli Holstein, who originally committed to Texas A&M, but since has flipped to Bama and is a top 10 quarterback. After that, you'll have Dylan Lonergan, who's in a similar spot, as he is a player who saw a meteoric rise in the 2023 class and is a consensus top 15 quarterback. Both those guys will battle it out in the future, but right now it's going to come down to Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. When Young got hurt, Milroe was the guy who was thrown into the mix. He's extremely athletic and is a really good runner, but his passing game left a lot to be desired. At times it looked like he didn't have much confidence, while other times it looked like he could be a star. Right now I think Milroe is the favorite to win the job, but he will have to fight off Ty Simpson. Simpson is way more of a classic pocket passer and was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school and was the next big thing. He chose the Tide over Clemson, and he has the most potential of any quarterback on the roster, and ultimately in my eyes will be the starter by the end of the season. Milroe may win the job week 1 because of his experience, but either way, Nick Saban is not afraid to play anyone, and the best player out of that bunch will play. No longer will Stetson Bennett be the starting quarterback at Georgia. To some this is a relief, and to some it's a sad moment, but for the sake of college football, we can now see what the rest of Georgia's quarterback room is made of. There are 3 good options for this year's job, but I think it comes down to 2. The guy on the outside looking in is Gunnar Stockton. Originally a 5-star quarterback in the class of 22, Stockton flipped from South Carolina to Georgia, and will more than likely be holding the clipboard as the 3rd guy, and he's someone who I think could play in the future. The first guy we need to talk about is Carson Beck. He was a 4-star recruit in the class of 2020 and has seen the majority of the backup duty behind Bennett. Beck has a lot of potential and is more than likely going to be the starter, but he'll have to fend off, in my opinion, the more talented player in Brock Vandagriff. Vandagriff was a 5-star who was originally committed to Oklahoma, but he flipped to Georgia, and he was a part of the class of 2021. Vandagriff, I think, has more talent and more potential, but some have said he's extremely overrated and has not been able to perform behind the scenes. Because of what I've heard, I'm just going to speculate that Beck will probably be the starting quarterback next year, but it would not shock me if Vandagriff or Stockton got a chance to play, because knowing Kirby, he'll play anyone who can win them the ball game. For all we know, there's another walk-on being groomed as we speak. Either way, I think Georgia's in good hands, and who do you guys think will be the starting quarterback next year for them? But what do you guys think? If you're a fan of any of these schools, let me know who you think your starting quarterback will be. Let me know another quarterback battle I could take a look at next, and let me know any other topic, player, team, situation I can cover in my next video. Be sure to let me know down below, leave a like if you want to support today's video, and check out all of the videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.